Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. No ma'am, you and your kids may not cut in front of me. So today, husband and I were feeling bored and adventurous and decided to make a pilgrimage to a posh coffee bar in our city. We've been meaning to go for months, but never got around to it. We pull into the lot and it's packed. 10:45 on a Sunday, so we expected it. As I'm getting out of the car, the mombi next to me is struggling to get 3 kids out of their seats, while her husband, maybe, stood by the front of the car watching, not helping. I hop out and excuse myself and walk into the cafe with husband. Huge line. 2 more people come in after us. Then, Mumby and her horde. She immediately starts whining about the line. She complains loudly to her husband at first, but when he's clearly ignoring her, she decides to just complain to thin air. Why is this line always so long? God, why don't they have more staff? Why does every person have to come here at the same darn time? She eventually asked the couple in front of her if she could go ahead because her kids are really, really hungry. Insert guilty sad face here. These saints begrudgingly say sure. So now they're directly behind husband and I. She then says to me, "Excuse me, miss, may we have the spot before you in line? My children have been waiting a long time and are very hungry." With the nicest voice I could find, I said, "I'm sorry ma'am, we've been waiting a while too and are also hungry. The line is moving faster now at least." I gave her a smile, even though she was glaring at me. I turned back around, only to hear her mutter, "Wow, what a witch. Can you believe some people? How rude." It took all my effort to not react. Husband is a conflict avoider, I am not. But I respect his wishes enough to not cause a scene in public when I'm with him. Eventually, she starts telling her husband how they're always out of the Mediterranean spinach breakfast sandwich she wants, and she better get it this time or she's gonna be angry. This is when I concoct a seriously evil plan. I check my watch, it's 10:55. A minute or two later, it's our turn. Husband orders his soy chai, and I slowly order my vanilla nitro cold brew. With cream. No, not cream, sorry, with soy. And an extra pump of vanilla. Barista rings us up as I check my watch. It's 10:58. I ask to add a Mediterranean spinach breakfast sandwich to the order. She says sure, no problem. Gives us the total. I'm digging in my purse for my wallet. Darn, just can't seem to find it. More digging. Oh, there it is, finally. Hand her the card, wait for receipt, and slowly sign. Pack purse back up, say thank you, and walk away. Husband says, "You're hungry? We ate breakfast an hour ago." "No, I'm not hungry, just had to do this." "Do what?" I nod towards the mumby. Husband looks over. She orders coffee and some juice things for her kids. Doesn't even ask if her husband wants anything. Then it happened. "And 1 Mediterranean spinach breakfast sandwich." "Oh, I'm sorry ma'am, we stopped serving breakfast at 11. We have all of our lunch options today though." Mumby looks at her watch and yells, "What? Are you kidding me? It's 11:02. "I'm sorry ma'am, company policy is to stop breakfast at 11. Is there anything else I can get you?" Get me your manager. This is ridiculous. You just sold one a moment ago. This is absurd. Manager came over, explained the situation, apologized, but refused to give that woman a sandwich. Bless her heart. Mumby retracts entire order and stomps out, red-faced and yelling to her car. My husband was trying to hold back his laughter. Our order came up. We grabbed it and went back to the car. I'm unwrapping the sandwich and take a bite exactly as I'm trying to scoot around her, trying to strap her kids in again, and say, "Oh, excuse me ma'am, just gonna sneak by you real quick." Ah, the Midwest. She's glaring at me, the worst stare I've ever gotten. I get in the car and unwind the windows ever so slightly. It's hot today, right? I slowly unwrap the rest of the sandwich and take a few more bites, passing it to husband and back while she's screaming and struggling with her kids, getting no help from Daddict. As soon as she pulled away, we burst into laughter. Today was a good day. That was literally a perfect r/petty revenge story, and I loved every second of that. How dare you cycle on the cycle path? The title pretty much sums it up, but here's the story. Last year, I worked at a theme park which was at the end of a very long cycle path which looped around the coast. Since the alternative route was on an A road, most of us brought bikes, and we ended up forming a little cycle club to commute in. One day, we're going along the path and I'm in front. A man stops and literally blocks me with his bike. I had the choice to either stop or swerve into the A147. "What the hell?" the man splutters and scoots his bike closer. I guess he was trying to square up to me, but he looked like a penguin with hemorrhoids. Anyway, back to the quacking. "Get off that bike right now! You're breaking the law, you selfish cow!" One of my co-workers quipped. "What did you do this time, Sivus?" This probably didn't help the situation. The man ignores my co-worker and keeps yelling at me. "My kid is cycling here, you're putting him in danger." Said kid is wobbling along on a trike, but thankfully on the far side of the pavement. His dad isn't watching the kid at all, so I'm not sure why his otherwise impeccable safety concerns didn't apply to his kid being unwatched near heavy traffic. But what do I know? "It's a cycle path," I point out. "I'm allowed to cycle on it." "No, you're not! Only children are allowed on here." He fails to remove his butt cheeks from his metal irony machine, but I make a point of looking at it. He points at the 40-mile-an-hour lorries and buses driving past us. "You have to get off the road or I'll report you." Co-worker stops sniggering at me for long enough to find his voice. "You're cycling on the cycle path too, mate." This triggers an almighty glare. "I am looking after my child. You don't care that you're putting him in danger, do you?" At this point, we all burst out laughing. As I said, we all worked at a theme park as ride operators. We spent 9 hours a day checking harnesses, giving safety talks, running safety checks, and closely supervising children on our rides. We knew more about safety regulations than a paranoid hypochondriac in a herpes convention. But of course, the parent doesn't know why we're laughing. He growls and barrels past me, knocking my bike right to the lip of the curb with me on it. His kid obliviously wobbles past us once again behind his dad. In the whole argument, the man hadn't looked at his son once. For the rest of the season, all my friends teased me for cycling on the cycle path. This entitled dad is just insane. Like, why would you not want someone cycling on the cycle path? If they cycle on the road, that annoys all the drivers on the road. If they cycle on the cycle path, that is perfect. Just do that, please. Entitled Mum tried to get me fired because I called their kid by their first name. I've worked in childcare since I was 17, so as you can imagine, I've got a lot of stories with entitled mothers. I've even posted some. This is my most recent encounter and is honestly making me rethink my profession. EM, entitled psycho mum who named their kid something she hates. EJ, Eugene Julian, fake name and the kid. M, me, the anti-hero of the story. So, like I said, I work in daycare and it's been a really great job as I have been working through my degree plan. I'm going into my last semester and this is my last summer I'll be working at this company. I have never worked with a younger grade before, and they placed me with first grade for the summer. I was bummed, but it's whatever. I'm making money. So Eugene, the kid and again fake name, but it's along the type of name that this is associated with, is in my group of students. He was a pretty good kid. Didn't have to talk to him much because he was always reading. Well, his name on my sheet of kids was listed as Eugene last name. So, for the entirety of the first half of the summer, that's what I called him. That's what he introduced himself as. That's what the other kids called him. One day, I was leaving at the same time that Eugene was leaving. We are staggered when we arrive and leave, and I saw him leaving with his mum. He saw me and said, "Bye, Mr. Help Account," and I said, "Bye, Eugene, I'll see you tomorrow." His mum flipped around so fast that I thought she was going to get whiplash. "Do not call my son that." I was taken aback. I didn't even know what to say at that point. It was his name and what I had called him all summer. So I just nodded and the kid said, "She only lets people call me Julian," a fake name. So I let the mum know I would do my best to call him Julian and would make a note of it. After this encounter, the kid was starting to really misbehave. I remembered to call him Julian, and that was something that he seemed to respond okay to, but he still wouldn't listen. Well, one day he was climbing on something, and he almost fell, so I came up behind him to try and catch him. He swung at me, and I moved back and said, "Eugene, stop." I corrected myself, and he looked at me, and I kid you not, "Mummy said that I don't have to listen to you when you call me that." So basically, I just called for a manager. When they came, I explained everything and told her about the name. She corrected it on the roster, but I was surprised the kid tried to hit me, so I called him by the name I learned first out of impulse. He got in trouble and the mum was angry. She called the facility and told them that I was bullying her son, even though I had literally only slipped up with his name once. She stood in the office for, I kid you not, 2 hours, demanding that I get fired. Basically, they told her to go away, and if she has an issue with the name, then she should have listed him as Julian. I've got to agree with the entitled parent here. You guys need to call me Mr. Jake in the comments. I keep seeing people saying Jake, and that's not my name, and I won't listen to you if you just say Jake. God. That was a joke, by the way. You don't have to say that. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.